This woman has just been detained in Dubai. So the story is going viral where this American woman from Houston actually went to Dubai. She got in a car accident and then she started screaming at the car rental guy, and now she's being fined, detained, and jailed. Turns out the laws are actually different in different parts of the world. Absolutely shocking information that the rest of the world doesn't actually tolerate acting like a hooligan out in public. Turns out you can't be screaming and cussing at people the same way you might be used to in America. Because in Dubai, there's actually laws against being an idiot. Now, it turns out the media coverage regarding this whole situation is pretty dubious. Basically, the media is saying that it only happened because she was screaming, but the Dubai police is saying that it's way more to do than screaming. It was like slander and defamation for the car rental company.
All right, this is a terrifying case. A family right now is desperately working to get a young woman home from overseas, back here in the States. She was on vacation and it turned into a nightmare, and she has now spent months detained in Dubai. Social media influencer Tierra Young Allen has been detained since May after she got into a car accident in Dubai and then attempted to retrieve some personal belongings from a rental car company. And that's when things started to go sideways. The rental company worker told her that she needed to pay money in order to get her items back, including her ID, her credit card, and some other personal belongings. Tierra's mom says that the worker was aggressive and started screaming at Tierra. And Tierra then screamed back. She was charged with screaming in public, which is a crime in Dubai.
Okay, so the way they present the story, it sounds like really unfair towards her, like, oh, innocent American woman is being detained in Dubai. But they leave out why exactly, you know? So from what I understand, what actually ended up happening here was that she rented a car from a car rental company, and then she got that car into an accident, probably causing some sort of damages. Then apparently she fled from the scene of the accident on foot, which is totally a sign of being completely innocent and planning to pay your fair share of that accident, right? And then the car rental guy is like, hey, you know, I'm not giving you your stuff back until you pay me. And that's when they started screaming at each other, apparently. Now, this is not a case of like he said, she said, like we don't know if she was actually screaming. There's actually footage that was captured that shows that she was actually screaming. Not to mention, this woman actually has a documented history on the internet of being drunk and unruly and screaming at people. She just happened to do it in the wrong location this time. So based on that history, we can pretty much guess exactly what happened.
It also could result in prison time. So it's very scary.
The trip turned terrifying for Tierra Young Allen when her mom says she was a passenger in a friend's rental car and they got into an accident there in Dubai. Tina Baxter says when her daughter went to the company to retrieve her ID, credit card, and other items left in the rental, Baxter says it did not go well.
She found out that she could only receive those items if she paid an undisclosed amount of money. She dealt with a very aggressive individual, a young man there who was screaming at her.
Baxter says her 29-year-old daughter ultimately yelled back at the rental car agent, she says resulting in her being charged for screaming there in Dubai.
And so she is in jail for one reason and one reason alone. She raised her voice. In that country, a female is not even allowed to raise her voice. If she raises her voice, it's punishable by jail time.
Okay, so this guy is a complete moron, honestly, trying to spin this thing into some sort of a sexist arrest or something. But the fact of the matter is, these laws apply to both men and women in Dubai. You're not allowed to cuss or scream. Okay, here we have the law. What is the punishment for cursing in Dubai? According to Article 373 of the UAE Criminal Code, using the F word in public is illegal because it disgraces the honor or the modesty of a person. Maximum penalty for cursing is 1 year in jail and a fine up to 10,000 dirhams. So the thing is, you may or may not agree with that law. You might think it's ridiculous or it's overbearing or something like that. But the fact is, you're the one who went to Dubai. So if you want to go there and if you want to live there and stay there, it is your job to respect their laws and their culture. If they practice modesty, you need to practice modesty as well because you're the one coming into their location and staying there. If you want to act like a hooligan, go live in America, okay? You cannot be acting like Logan Paul in Japan, okay? It is disrespectful and it is not taken lightly. Places like Dubai are actually incredibly safe with very low crime precisely because of rules like these. They don't tolerate any sort of BS and that's the whole way they keep it so safe and so orderly. Now, obviously, the mom is claiming that her daughter did absolutely nothing wrong at all. The man was the one who started cursing or whatever, even though she has absolutely no proof of that. And she's saying that this was a scam car rental place that was trying to extort people, but there is absolutely no proof of that at all, and that is why it's coming under the defamation thing as well. Now, obviously, I do feel for her. Obviously, for a mother, it is scary to have your child detained in another country, but it's that old internet boogeyman once again. The consequences of your own actions, okay? If she did something wrong and she's a full-grown adult, is what it is, man.
Now, the 29-year-old does now have an attorney there in Dubai, and her mom says she's told that she could face jail time because there is surveillance video of her screaming. Now, we have reached out to the U.S. and the UAE embassies. Will government officials step in and give her assistance? I'm still awaiting responses.
Okay, it turns out some people are saying that she could potentially be facing up to 2 years in jail and a fine of around $5,400. And obviously, people are debating whether this is justified or it's too extreme or whatever, but my thought process on that is that you cannot sign up to play a game of Monopoly and start stealing from the banker, all right? You cannot just start changing the rules of a place you don't like, okay? If you don't want to get arrested, don't go play there.
They really didn't have any intentions on giving her back her items. So she told me that the employee started screaming at her and insisting that she give him money. And she wanted the whole nightmare to go away. So she was willing to give the money. But the only thing is that they had her credit cards. They had her cell phone. She's used to paying using transactions on her iPay or using her credit cards. She couldn't pay them.
As the lord of all things sus, okay, my susometer is going off the charts here, okay? So the mom is claiming it's some sort of scam using them to extort money or whatever. But the story kind of falls apart when you realize that, hey, if they were asking you for money and then they were keeping your credit cards, like how did they expect you to pay them? Okay, that made absolutely no sense. Like if you wanted someone to pay like a ransom or some sort of thing like that, you would give them access to the tools so they could withdraw the goddamn money. So that made absolutely no sense. Like, why would somebody ask that unless they thought you had $5,000 in your pocket or something, which makes absolutely no sense. So for that reason, I'm pretty skeptical of the mom's story over here. She's obviously twisting it in any way to make her daughter look good or make her family look good or whatever the hell. But obviously, I can only listen to the official reports there. You might argue that they're skewed or whatever, but that's all we have. We have surveillance footage of her screaming. Anyways, maybe the moral of the story is that maybe we should be respectful to other human beings and we won't get thrown in jail. Now click this video for a lovely shawarma straight from Dubai. Yum!